All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Basham, Yahawashi, Basham Rakah Kadash. All right, double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone. And salutes to you, brothers, teaching the word of sincerity and in truth. And pretty much what I'm gonna do is this is gonna be a quick video, man. I'm not gonna drag this one out at all. And get right to the point. But pretty much, I feel compelled to do this, so I'm just gonna do it for whatever reason or what. But pretty much I had a dream. I'd say I can't say last night because I just it wasn't hours ago or nothing like that, man. Um, but so not long of a dream, man. I woke up out of, but uh, you know, and like I said, I feel compelled to do it. I don't know. I just want to just do this, and it's not going to be long. It was a quick dream, man. I was having a bit of different dreams last night, but I don't think any of them are relevant or whatnot or important. But pretty much Revelation 1:7 is a scripture that I want to meditate on. And but pretty much, man. In 2023, which is we got the name of it, man. You know, about hoping the Lord comes back. So that's another crazy thing, omen as well, man. But anyway, so I was walking up the street, man, and I was in an area that I grew up in, man, and pretty much like a lot of people that I know or had seen from when I was growing up, pretty much some of them were okay, some people were chirpy, but some people, certain things were happening to them, like their lives were going downhill and all that, and things of that nature. So I was just walking up the street, seeing different people I'd grown up with, or people that I know from this area that I grew up in and stuff, and just seeing their lives and stuff like that, and things that they're going through. So pretty much, in this dream, I'm just, I was on the bus, got off the bus, started walking up the street. People are telling me things about how people are doing now, and the next Y Z. You seeing people, like I said, some people were chirpy, some people were not. And this is, like I said, this wasn't a long dream. I mean, it felt long because I was having conversations, so it was probably longer than you know what I'm gonna explain it was, because I was actually having conversations about different things. But anyway, the highlight of the dream, man. As I had got to a certain part of the street, you got these like younger people there on them little scooters with people on them. There's all sorts going on. Builders, like people, just working on the roads and shit like that. The next minute, anyway, man. There was like a man in the sky, right? There was a giant in the sky. There was a giant in the sky, and there's people like I said, I grew up with were there. They were trying to talk to me and stuff about different things. I'm not gonna go into all of that because there was all kinds of different conversations and shit like that. But pretty much there was a man in the sky, and he had a suit on, but he had like his back turned, and he had a top hat. So people were like, I was even looking in the sky like, what the hell is that, man? And everyone was bugging the hell out. People were bugging out. People were like, yo, what's that? I can't, screaming, as the wood shock. So I've looked down, just to get my phone out to kind of like, I think I went to record it. But the next minute I've looked back up, man. I kid you not, man. I mean, and it's just a dream, but I just, like I said, I feel compelled to do it. I'm not gonna keep this long. But in the sky, man, there was the Lord Yahawashi, man. He was in the sky, and he was so tall, man. He was so tall. It was just unreal. And he had a white like beard and a white fro, kind of linked up. You know what I'm saying? As we know, man, and he was pure white, man. He was just, man. His eyes were red, just like giant rubies, just glowing, man. You know. and all around him was a cloud. So around him was like clouds of smoke, like a thick cloud of smoke, and then the whole sky turned dark, and the whole atmosphere, everything around him turned dark, and people were pretty much running, man. People were running, people were screaming. At that point, everything had changed again. Like the whole atmosphere of Earth and the environment I was in the UK in this area grew up. The whole area, the whole atmosphere, in this whole town, or probably and I don't probably across the UK, all of that I couldn't see it, but everything just had changed. So the next minute, man, like I said, I'm just explaining this as quickly as I can, and I'm explaining it as quickly as I can, and as best as I can. When you're in it, you can see stuff that you can't really, you can't really get it out a certain way. But like I said, he was kind of just moving left and right, and everything was shaking. Electric was coming from him, you know, the whole smoke. It was crazy, man. So then I said again, I pulled out my phone to record, and I got actually recorded him. I actually recorded the event on my phone, and as I'm recorded it, and I've actually ended the recording. There were people there, and people were just like I said, people were screaming. In the dream, I was praising the name of the Lord, man. That's all I was doing. I didn't care who the fuck was there. People that knew and all that, and people that didn't know what I'm doing and stuff. That people didn't know that I teach, or even other people. I just kept screaming the name of the Lord, man. I was going, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, Bashem, Kadash. I was praising the name of the Lord, and I was roaring it up the street, man. I was roaring the name. I was roaring it, man. I was like, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, man. I just kept repeating that, and then and the next minute, and people were like, just as I said, screaming. The next minute, pretty much fire was coming down all of the bloody streets. Fire was engulfing the streets, man. So the fire's getting closer. So I'm even getting worried, man. But I'm not scared. I was worried, hoping that, hey, I hope I don't get caught up in that fire. But I wasn't scared. So I was just standing there. I wasn't moving, man. And everything that was around was getting burnt up, all up the streets. But it was like the fire was coming down the pathways and over buildings and stuff. But things were getting burnt. Things were getting burnt. It just kept coming. Anything around that Yahawashi was just all getting fucking burnt up, man. You know, like I said, I've not long woke up. I'm not gonna be honest with you, man, because I was, you know, had one of them late ones. So, you know, I'm compelled to do it, man. Like I said, I got it on camera, but I'll explain that in a bit. So the fire's coming up all the streets, and then people are getting. I don't know what's happening, man. People are getting either burnt up because no one was around at that point. But then as the fire kept getting closer, so I'm like, whoa, am I gonna get burnt up, man? But the thing is, I didn't. The fire just stopped, and then the fire that was burning, it kind of turned into water. So it was kind of showing me that I was safe, man. So I was like thankful. So I was praising the name of the Lord again. So as it turned to water, it turned back to fire. So as it got close, just to show that, oh, you ain't gonna get burnt, and it stopped. So Lord willing that, Lord willing, man, we have the elect, and we don't get caught up in this destruction that's gonna come. Because like I said, the Lord looks scary as hell, man. I don't know if I said it, but I was trying to describe that. His eyes were so red. That's all I remember. His red eyes. His skin was dark, and he had a white woolly mane, man. He was so big, and his mane his beard was thick. He looked like a lion, man. He looked like 100% lion, like a lion, and he had a white garment on, a long white garment on. He had some stuff like around, like a royal chest plate. Almost, like how Levites have got the breastplate, but I can't tell it was one of them, but it was a royal like breastplate, like something like if someone would come if they were coming for war, 100%, man. Like you'd have in the ancient world them, if you watch the Vikings or anything or any, but they have like a breastplate thing clipped on up here. I don't know if it's for spears or swords or whatever, armor, whatever, man. But things were just getting burned up. And then what had happened was, this is how the dream ended. So after that had happened, like it all went, and then people started to appear again. Like the Lord had gone out the skies, the fire had gone. So I'm just standing there still trying to upload this video. I'm like, I gotta get this up there, man. I've got to on the internet and make brothers see the like, what I've just said. This is how I'm in a dream, but in the dream I can't do it because in the dream and I got it up there to upload, but I had to put the details in. But as I was doing that, everything around had turned fucking post-apocalyptic, man, like completely. So people were or pre-apocalyptic, as you say, pre, whatever, man. There was like the phone boxes with all the cash in it was dumped in the streets. And I seen like a kid running to grab the coins. And I've looked at the coins and I said that wasn't even a legal tender anymore. People wasn't. I said you couldn't even use the coins. I looked at him like you ain't. That doesn't even make sense. I knew in my mind that you couldn't use the money that we're using now was obsolete, man. You know, and like I said, it was dark and gloomy. It's like the world had just changed. It was like outworld, man. And I'm seeing people at phone boxes, women at phone boxes trying to call fellas or different men that they knew, and nobody's picking up because people are fucked up. Then I seen these blokes walking up the streets, talking about people in his house and all that, and he's gonna try and lamp him with the 4x4 woods, and everyone was people were just their whole lives were just fucked, man. Everything had just flipped upside down. There was chaos in the streets, people just walking in the streets, people trying to make calls, but the phones. I don't know if people were getting through, but it's like they're talking to themselves in panic, or they couldn't get through. I don't know what the hell was going on, man. So you know, uh, that's pretty much what it is, man. And people just like, you know, just rolling up the street to crack each other in the head. It was all out chaos. It was all out chaos, man. And it was dark and gloomy, like I said. Like it was so dark and gloomy out there. It's like the air had changed permanently and there was smoke. It wasn't as dark as when the Lord was in the sky, but there was smoke and everything everywhere. And that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I didn't want to keep this too long. But I don't think I've missed anything. And like I said, man, one of the first things that comes to my mind with that scripture is Revelation 1 and 7, man. And the fact that upon the Lord's return, man, there's going to be all out chaos anyway. When the Lord returns, Esau would have already have like tried to go for his new world order. It would have already have tried to push that his order of KO and his NFC implant and all of that, man. You know, and pretty much you know, when the Lord returns, he's just gonna put the nail in the coffin, pretty much. And even when World War Three happens, and people are burnt up that are supposed to get burnt up in a certain countries all over the world, and the earth shakes and all of this, America, Babylon is actually completely destroyed. We're actually going to come out of them chariots, the ones that get beamed up, and we're going to come back down on the earth, man, and put the earth in order. The earth is going to be in this kind of state, man. The earth is going to be in a state. You're gonna have survivors. Remember Revelation 13, it says, when not Revelation 13, second Esdras. It kind of reminded me of second Esdras. I can't remember if it's second Esdras 13. We always read it, where it tells you about the Lord coming, and all that, and the smoke and shit like that. It kind of reminded me of that. And then like basically like at the end it says people were bound, some were happy, some people were happy, some were bound and whatnot. So people were in different kind of predicaments on the Lord's return. Some people were getting put in captivity. Some people were happy. Some people were just getting fucked up, man. So, if I picture it like that, that's kind of what it were like in terms of the scriptures, you know. So I'm gonna read at least one of these precepts on the board, and then I'm out, man. but we're in that year, man, hoping for the Lord to return. I'm just paraphrasing it, but and we're saved through hope anyway. So that's a spiritual name within itself. If you think about it, if all Israel did turn to the east and pray to the Most High, the Lord would destroy this whole kingdom. You got scriptures and stories of the Lord taking down the enemies all throughout the scriptures. I'm not gonna go through all the examples, man, but come on. You had the city of Jericho and all that. That's one. You got all types of examples, man. The Lord delivering us from little captivities, man. When the Lord's gonna do the same thing on this side. Deliver us from from the captivities, man. All right, let me read some of these scriptures now. Uh, Ezekiel 34:11. For thus saith the Lord power, behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered. So will I seek out my sheep and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. So check that, man. Check that, and I will bring them out from the people and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land and feed them upon the mountains of Israel by the rivers and in all the inhabited places of the country. So yeah, check that out, man. The Lord literally is gonna deliver us from all this death and destruction and gloominess that's gonna be going on around us, man. The elect are gonna be beamed up and taken from among all these people. That's amazing, man. That's right there in the scriptures. That's amazing that the Lord's gonna do that. All right. Isaiah 30:27. Behold, the name of the Lord cometh from far, burning with his anger. And that's exactly it. And the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire, and his breath as an overflowing stream. Woo! Shall reach to the midst of the neck to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity. There shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, man. Cause them to and look, man, the Lord was not looking happy, and the Lord ain't gonna be happy. You got people that have these dreams and visions of the Lord and stuff, man. And when the Lord comes on the earth, man, the scripture says he's gonna cry like a travailing woman, meaning, you talk about a great roaring sound, man. That's exactly what he's gonna be doing. It's gonna be scary. The Lord ain't playing, man. He ain't gonna be happy. Uh, Isaiah 28:21. For the Lord shall rise up as in Mount Perazim, he shall be rough as in the valley of Gibeon, that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, his strange act. Now therefore be ye not mockers, lest your bands be made strong. For I have heard from the Lord power of hosts, a consumption ever determined upon the whole earth. Isaiah 24:5 or 25:4. Salat, for thou hast been a strength to the poor, a strength to the needy in distress, a refuge from the storm, a shadow from the heat, when the blast of the terrible ones is as a storm. Let's put all the different verses for that. That's Isaiah 25:4. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible one shall be brought. And in his mountain shall the Lord of hosts make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wine on the lees of fat things full of marrow, of wines on the lees well refined, and he will destroy in his mountain the face of the covering, cast over all people, the veil that is spread over all nations. He shall swallow up death in victory, and the Lord will wipe away tears from all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away from the earth, from all the earth. For the Lord have spoken it. So, hey, Yahawashi, man, everybody's gonna be shocked when they see Yahawashi, you know, and they're gonna be scared, and they're gonna be scared. The scriptures talks about was it with the revelation, wisdom of Solomon 5, it's certain everything that they didn't seem to think was gonna happen. When the Lord comes in them ships, it's gonna transform your reality, completely, man. People's reality that is gonna be transformed, man. 100%, man. Okay, gonna read these last two, then I'm out, man. Matthews 24 and 30, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And that's pretty much what it is. All right, then we got the second Esdras 13 and 12. Afterward saw I the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry, right? And then you got some of them were bound, and others, some of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldst receive my prayer. So these are visions and stuff that have been prophets have had from the beginning, and things of that nature, man, of the Lord's return and all of this sort of stuff. So we're in the time of this happening, and hopefully this is the year of the Lord's return, so we can be delivered from our captivity that we're in, which we're in. We always talk about the system we're in the beast system, and most of you got the Babylon the Great, which is America, where most people are at, and we're in the beast system and all of that. So, Lord willing, we're delivered from that. All right. So I'm gonna close this out. Didn't want it to be too long, but I was able to make a quick lesson out of it, by reading these scriptures on the board, man. So that's pretty much the point. The scriptures tells you what's gonna happen. It's all about what the scriptures are telling you, man. The scriptures is already telling you the Lord coming in them chariots, coming, like a lion coming to tear stuff up, coming in great power, man. Everybody being scared, all of that, you know. All right, that's all I gotta say. I'm out, man.